Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Horseshoe Indianapolis here on Wednesday. It is the 17th of May, 2023. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program, the two graded or two listed or so black type stakes races on the program on the grass. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Get 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. We're going to look at races 7 and 8. Both of them are really good 3-year-old turf races, which I think, the division for these 3-year-old turf races in the last decade or so has really been going up. It's one of my favorite divisions. So let's look at it. The 7th race, it's the Horseshoe Indianapolis Handicap. It's a handicap going for a $150,000 purse race for 3-year-old fillies. Field of 8 horses going to the lawn, the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Indianapolis turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile. Portable rails are up 36 feet, so they're quite far out. Something I've always noticed with Indiana Grand, whatever they want to call themselves this week. Every week it seems like they have a different name. But the turf course, they have multiple rail settings. It's quite cool. They can run at 0 feet and they can run all the way up to like 48, 50 feet, which I find for a 7/8 mile turf course, I find it quite cool. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 2 horse, Capella. I'm going to go 2-1-4-6 in the superfecta. 2-1-4-6 super. Top selection 2 horse, Capella. This 3-year-old filly by Quality Road. Brad Cox trains. Florent Giroux gets the mount. Horse's most recent outing came the 8th of April here in New York at Aqueduct, a mile and the 8th in the Gazelle, and she finished 4th by 4 lengths. She set very pedestrian fraction on the front end, but then she got beat by slightly better horses. Shinabuto finished 3rd. It's a decent horse. Gambling Girl ran a terrific race, just missing the Kentucky Oaks next touchdown. Promisera America, ran her heart out that one in the Gazelle. Didn't run so well in the Derby or in the Oaks. But this horse, she just got beat by better horses. Refreshing in turf, which I think she wants to. Her synthetic races aren't half bad. She's in a better spot to win, and I think she can find a winner's circle. 2 back at Aqueduct on the mud, 4th of April, 1 mile in the Busher. She finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths that day. She sat back early. She wanted more ground. The winner ran better, but she got down the race course well, first start on dirt, and then the 3rd of February turf won the Tapeta, 1 mile in the optional 50, winning by a neck on the front end all throughout. She really ran a terrific race, coming home with a 74 buyer, and then on debut in late December at Turfway, 1 mile and a main special weight, winning by 3 3/4 lengths that day. Again, a very clear victory, coming home with a 65 buyer. She's training well on the train track at Belmont. Coming here today, I think she's a very likely winner. The one horse, Mrs. Astor for Jonathan Thomas and Ira Ortiz Jr., I think he's your second likeliest winner, or she's your second likeliest winner. Most recently in the allowance race at Keeneland over the mile and 8th on the 14th of March. 14th of April. The horse finished finished second by a half a length, and she had a horrible trip early on. She was a little bit wide that day. She moved a little bit late, but she needed something more. Maybe first off the bench, she needed the race. Second off the bench, not the world's toughest race. Her buyers could definitely win here today. 2 back in the main special weight, Gulfstream, mile 16, 29th of January. She won by 1 1/4 lengths, and coming from a wide trip, she quickened up nicely and went away with it. A very good race after all said and done. And then the 11th of December at Gulfstream, 1 mile in the main special weight. She finished 3rd by 3/4 length that day. She had a bit of a trouble trip. She moved a little bit late. Nothing bad after all said and done. She's training well at Keeneland and in South Florida. Coming here today, I'll use her on the ticket. To recap my selection for the 7th from Horseshoe Indy, it is the Horseshoe Indianapolis Handicap. Let's take the 2 horse Capella. Give kudos to the 1 horse Mrs. Astor. 2-1-4-6 super. 2-1 in your multi-race. The 8th race from Horseshoe, it is the featured. It's the Caesars Handicap. It's going for a $150,000 purse race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 11 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course. I'm going to take here the number 5 horse, Dude and Colorado. I'm going to go with the 7 horse here, Worthington. I'm going to go 7-5-1-9 as superfecta. I'm using Dude and Colorado also, but 7-5-1-9 super. Top selection, 7 horse. Dude in Worthington, 3-year-old gold by Classic Empire. Mike Maker trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the Rushway Turfway, mile 16, 25 of March, and the horse finished 6th by 5 lengths. He was with him early on. He kind of hit the wall late, and maybe a little bit too fast to that first quarter, which cost him. Refreshing the turf, he does better on the turf, and I think he could run a better race. They tried him on dirt before that, where he ran horribly in the Sam F. Davis at Tampa, mile 16th in mid-February. Finished 10th by 21 lengths. He just had nothing. He wasn't handling handling the dirt surface. And then early January Gulfstream, 1 mile on the Diania Beach. He finished third by 3 3/4 lengths that day. He stalked. He needed something more late. Major Dude, who went on to win next start, it's a decent horse. This horse wasn't getting to him. And then late November, Churchill, 1 mile in the lounge race on the lawn. The horse went by 2 3/4 lengths. Came home with an 82 buyer. I thought that was a very good trip. A little bit wide, but it was he ran quite nicely there and won at Keeneland in main special weight in October quite nicely, coming home with a 70 buyer. Back to the green stuff. Not the world's toughest race. I think he could win. I also think the 5 horse Dude in Colorado could win for Tom Pletcher and Ira Ortiz Jr. Most recently in the Transylvania, I thought this horse was just very wide there. Mile 16th at Keeneland, breaking from 11-11. He finished 8th by 6 1/4 lengths. Was wide from a tracking trip, which cost him. 2 back in the Colonel Liam at Coldstream over the mile. The horse went by half a length. Again, a wide trip, but he held it on the front end. A very good race. And then had a decent third in the Kitten's Joy at Coldstream. Refreshing here, has a lot of speed. The buyers could definitely win. First time Lasix. I'll use him on the ticket. So to recap my selection for the 8th race, it is the Caesars Handicap. Gonna take the 7 horse Worthington. Give kudos to the 5 horse Dude in Colorado. 7-5-1-9 Super. 7-5 in your multi race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.